arithmetic mean of price relatives. So P01 equal to 1 upon m summation P1I upon P0I into 100, where I running from 1 to m. We may also define the simple average of price relatives based on the geometric mean of the price relatives. So as we know the geometric mean instead of arithmetic mean, now we use the formula for geometric mean to find out P01, the same index number given by product I running from 1 to m, P1I upon P0I whole raised to 1 upon m, that is we find out the mth root. We can find out this by mth root of, so you know it, of course you know it, mth root is the same as raised to 1 upon m, and by taking log on both the sides we get log of P01 is 1 upon m times sigma log P1I upon P0I, and it is easily found out. So before going to after completing this, we can have the third method. The method is simple aggregate of prices. Simple aggregate of prices. I want to tell you that the simple aggregate of price index number, so you can see here the simple aggregate of prices, 1 minute, simple aggregate of prices. Okay, the simple aggregate of price index for a given time interval, the simple aggregate of price index for a given time interval is the sum of the prices per unit of all the commodities under consideration at the given time interval, that is the current period, expressed as percent relative to the corresponding price for the base period. That is P01 is the simple aggregate price index number which we want. Its formula is sigma P1 upon sigma P0 multiplied by n. Now you can see, students, what is the difference between these two? Before this we have seen the method in which we have find out P1 upon P0 and then we have take the summation. Here in this method we are taking sigma P1 upon sigma P0 and it is multiplied by 100. So we find out the summation of particular current year's price, then summation of particular base year price, and then we take the summation, then we take the ratio and it is multiplied by 100, where sigma P1 and sigma P0 are the sum of the prices of the commodities in the current year and in the base year respectively. So this simple formula suffers from the following serious defects, that there are two defects. This formula assigns equal weight to the absolute change of each commodity, and as a result of it, a commodity with a higher per unit price tends to exert more effect in the group than in the comparison of the commodity with a cheaper price. So this second drawback is this, this formula is unsuitable or illogical if the prices are not in the same unit. As for example, suppose we are to obtain the aggregative type of index number for the following data. Now you can see the data is here. So commodity is given: wheat, sugar, matches and kerosene oil. We know that the unit for wheat is what? 1 kilogram. In the same way, unit for sugar is also 1 kilogram. But what is about the unit of matchbox? It can't be have any unit like kilogram. It can be measured in packet of a dozen boxes, isn't it? Then kerosene oil, it can be, the unit of kerosene oil is what? 1 liter. So of course price in rupees for 1972 is given, 1975 is given, and we find out the sigma P1, sigma P0. We take the ratio and multiplied by it. It should be multiplied by 100. It is 107.7. If we change the units of wheat and sugar to per quintal, then it will be P72 to 75 will be given to be this, that is 0.9. So it shows the unsuitability. It shows the unsuitability of the formula where the data are given in the same units. So here the formula for simple aggregate of prices differs, and it has effects instead of kilogram only for all the commodities is given, we are using the different units, dozen, kilogram, quintal, then liter, etc. simultaneously in one example, then it becomes difficult to measure the price relatives. Now after this, let us see something about the limitations of index numbers. Let us see limitations of index numbers. You can see on the TV screen some are the limitations. Like statistics, index numbers are liable to be misused. Besides this, like other measures, index numbers are also having certain limitations. We cannot include all the commodities relating to a phenomenon in the calculation of an index number. So we have to depend only on the selection of the representative commodities, which may give false conclusions. Number 2, the index number which is useful for one purpose cannot be used for another purpose, because each index is computed in a different way and for a different use. Number 3, they are approximate indicators of the relative change, that is, they do not correspond to the absolute or to the real change. At times this may be misleading. So these are the limitations of index numbers. Let us see some more. Being a specialized type of the averages only, the index numbers are subject to all those limitations with which an average suffers. Also, there may be error in the selection of the averages only. They are subject to all those limitations with which an average suffers. There may be error in the selection of the right type of index number, which index number is correct and which is not correct for the particular group, and also in its construction of an index number, such as in the selection of the weights and base period, etc. Relative importance of the commodities and services go on changing with the change of time and place. So every time old labor and decisions becomes obsolete. Let us see some main points in the construction of index numbers. So विद्यार्थी मित्रों, students, now આપણે સ્ટેટિસ્ટિક્સના ઇન્ડેક્સ નંબરના ઘણા બધા ઉપયોગો જોયા છે. તમને ઇન્ડેક્સ નંબરનું કન્સ્ટ્રક્શન કઈ રીતે કરવું એ ઇઝી વાત નથી. કોઈ પણ સરકાર, સેન્ટ્રલ ગવર્મેન્ટ કે સ્ટેટ ગવર્મેન્ટ, એ ઇન્ડેક્સ નંબર વગર એને ચાલતું જ નથી. તો ઇન્ડેક્સ નંબર્સની ગણતરી કરવા માટે એનું કન્સ્ટ્રક્શન કરવું પડે છે, અને એ કન્સ્ટ્રક્શન કરવા માટે ખૂબ અગત્યના એવા આપણે 5 થી 6 મુદ્દાઓનો અત્યારે અભ્યાસ કરીશું. લેટ અસ સી સમ ઓફ ધેમ. મેઇન પોઈન્ટ્સ ઇન ધ કન્સ્ટ્રક્શન ઓફ ઇન્ડેક્સ નંબર્સ. The following 6 points are mainly involved in the construction of an index number. Number 1, object and scope of index numbers. Number 2, selection of items to be included. Number 3, choice of the source for collecting the data such as price quotations, etc. Number 4, choice of the base period or base year. Number 5, choice of the average or the mathematical formula. Number 6, system of weighting to be accepted, and so on. Okay, now we shall discuss these steps one by one. Let us see object and scope. In deciding about all other points involved in the construction of an index number, The most important factor is the object with which an index number is being constructed. All the index numbers are not equally suitable for all the purposes. For example, change in income may be reflected by the cost of living index and not by the wholesale price index. Also, the scope of the index number should clearly be stated. It includes the region, that is, place to be covered, and the frequency of complication with respect to time. Let us see number 2, selection of items. The selection of the items or the selection of the commodities is to be made such that number 1, they represent the real habits, tastes and the customs of the people. Such items must be avoided which are not of common use. As for example, maize or bajra is not a common food, and reb, a liquid form of gur, is not a commodity of general taste, and therefore such commodities must be omitted from the list of food commodities, and so on. Number 2, it must be easily recognizable and describable. That is, a commodity which has not been seen or heard about by the people must also be avoided to be included in the list of items. Number 3, there must be no any significant variation in the quality of the commodities selected. That is, one must be aware about the standard quality of the items. If several qualities of that item are available in the market, for example, there is a large variation among qualities of, say, rice alone. Therefore, one quality already specified must be used uniformly for the construction of all the indices. So, number 3, the main steps in the construction of index numbers. Let us see about the choice of source for collecting price quotations. Prices of the commodities differ from place to place and even from shop to shop. We cannot include all these different prices and we have to select the representative ones. So the wholesale price quotations and not the retail prices must be called for the separated quality of the commodities. Even these quotations are to be called from leading wholesale dealers or stores, or they must be obtained from the standard trade journals which are regularly published by standard agencies or government departments. Number 4, choice of the base period. The point of reference is called the base. The observations of the base point of time or of place are taken as the standard. Relative changes are calculated as percentages against the values of this base period. Any change in base period will change the magnitude of the percentages. So it should be selected with proper care. About so the base period, that is the period which comparisons can be made, must be a normal year. By normal period we mean that period which is free from all sorts of abnormalities or random ones. So what is a normal period, Vidyarthi Mitro? What is a normal period? One knows that we should select a base year. Here in index numbers we are making comparisons, of course, with the base year and current year. We have to find out the current year's price, what is the change in that price with respect to a specified base year. But which base year we should select? We should select that base year which should be a normal period. What do you mean by normal? It is not abnormal. That means during that year there should not be war, any type of earthquake should not take place, flood or a strike by laborers or something extraneous activities which should not place in that year. If it exists, then that year should not be selected by us as a base year. So the selection of base year is also very important point in the construction of index numbers. There are so many points in the construction of index numbers. We have seen some of them, and when we see the choice of base period, then for the selection of base year there are two methods available. One is fixed base method and second is chain base method. Let us see one by one. In fixed base method, a normal year or average of the groups of years is taken as the base period, and then price relatives are calculated by dividing the prices of all the commodities in the current year by the prices of corresponding commodities in the base year, and we multiply this quotient by 100. The fixed base year should not be a remote past, okay, because over a long span a base year may be become outdated. So it should not be too long and it should not be too short. What we mean to tell you, the selection of base year should not be too long, too far, or it should not be too short like a day. So it should be in moderate format only. Next we see the chain base method. In the chain base method, the price relative of a commodity for any year is obtained by dividing the price of that commodity in the particular year by the price of that commodity in the previous year. Thus, if PAI is the price of ith commodity in the 8th year, PBI is the price of ith item or ith commodity in the bth year, PCI price of ith item in the 6th year, and so on, where A is less than B is less than C, and so on. Then price relative of bth year is equal to PBI upon PAI into 100, that is known as PAB. Similarly, price relative of the 6th year is equal to PCI upon PBI into 100, that is PBC, etc. So the price relative calculated in this manner are called the link relatives or chain base relatives. So what is the formula we have deduct? The link relative or the chain base price relative of the current year equal to current year's price